मेरा वाईफाई है।
अच्छा, या स्पीड मिल रहा है ना आपको? हाँ तो हसीता शुरू करें।
हाँ
शुरू करते हैं, है ना? फिर से शुरू करते हैं। Welcome, guys, to the very first podcast. I am here with Hasita. She's my senior from college. Uh, so we would be today talking about first one of the topic that I raised in my recent blog, that is inspiration objectification, and Hasita will guide you through her journey. And I bet you it's an inspirational one. And she is a blogger, a YouTuber, a motivational speaker as well. So I hope that you get a good insight of her life through this and learn something from it. So Hasita, let's start. Yeah,
let's start.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
know that you have been brought up in US, right? So how was your experience over there?
Well, I was actually born in India only, but since my dad got his job, we had to shift. So I was only 9 months when I shifted to US. And initially, I liked the US a lot. Like, I was very extroverted. So I used to go to every single person around, and we used to have a very big friend circle as well. So I would go to every single person, be a happy, joyful, little kid and all that. So initially it was fine. But as a child, I was also very active. So I used to swim, I used to play football, I used to skate, all those things I used to do. And one day my coach, he like saw me limping all of a sudden, like we run and all those things, right? So like he saw me limping, and he told my parents, and you would think that the US has a top-notch medical facility and all that, but it took a lot of time for diagnosis. Uh, so after it got confirmed that I had Friedreich's ataxia, which is a neurological muscular disease. It's progressive as well. So this was a very huge, news for me as a child, and it upsetted me a lot. It brought me into depression, and
Okay.
at the time.
Got it, got it. So you know, getting clinically diagnosed with a neurodegenerative disorder at an age of 10 would really be difficult for you. But may I ask you one thing, that
Yeah,
what might have triggered your depression, if you are okay to speak on it?
yeah, I would be. This news itself was a very big thing for me to digest. Like other children would go to parks and enjoy their life, and I was stuck at home, or I would be continuously going to hospitals. So that situation itself overwhelmed me, and I was constantly having an inner battle. So along with that, I used to go to school, okay. So I used to walk a bit, like wobbling and stuff. So looking at that, looking at me walking so differently, being different from the crowd, people started to bully me and stuff, and they wouldn't support me like at all. Like obviously they were also children themselves, so they wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, that really affected me, and it get added to the depression. And yeah, later on found I was able to go to clinical trials as well. So that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. Hasina? Yeah, so got it. So that must have been really tough on you, man. But so now I wanted you to ask about your clinical trials. How you got into one of them? How was it?
Uh, basically, they wanted patients with fatigue ataxia. So this is a very rare disease. So it wasn't very known like in the US also. So they wanted patients to try the new drug on. So I was willing to. At the time, I guess my parents like gave consent, and then I was taken under trials and stuff. So I had a very nice time. Like everything was free. Like for the trials, the stay was free, the food was free, the tests, like they did multiple tests like blood tests, EKG, ECG. Like if you do it on your own, it's very costly, it's expensive, but they took it on them. And as I was doing those clinical trials, I got to know more about the disease and like its symptoms. It not only affects our coordination and all, it affects the speech also, it affects the heart, it has various other like levels of affecting. So yeah, that was a new experience, and yeah, it was nice.
Got it. So, you have been in India for the past 9 or 10 years, right? So you must have, come across some of the challenges when you compared it to US. So I would like to ask you to put some light on that.
Uh, According to medical facility, well, I guess right now India is catching up pretty fast. Like if you compare the medical facility to the US, I think it's fine. Like they have allopathy, they have Ayurveda, they have homeopathy. So all these things are available in India, which is not there in the US. So I think the medical facility is fine, but when it comes to infrastructure, it's very bad. Like uh, as a wheelchair user, we need certain things like, like cars, they need roads, trains, they need tracks, right? So we need ramps for our buildings. Like instead of stairs, we need ramps. So that is not there in most buildings. So if I need to go anywhere, most people lift me. They literally lift me and take me, because there's no other way. There's no inclusivity in this country. Like the government has full capability of doing it, but they are not. So I don't know what to say more about this.
Just wanted to ask if you have been through any major challenges just because of this condition in India.
Yeah, actually, uh, people like us, we actually face this issue. uh, like people don't believe we have potential. Like many people think that we are incapable of doing things. So when I was in college, for biotechnology, I joined for biotechnology. So all my lecturers would discourage me right on my face. They would say that I can't do it, or that I'm incapable, or I won't be happy, I cannot get this degree and all that. And for my 6 month project also, they would be like, you won't be able to complete it, you can get a placement outside. So when all these people, they started saying all these things, that's what started that fire inside of me, that I have to do it, I have to prove them wrong, kind of thing. So yeah, I got opportunity for my 6 month project. project outside of college, and I completed it. I got my degree and all that. So that just proved them wrong and made me more proud,
Definitely,
So I
definitely.
was happy.
Yeah. So, these were some of the challenges you went through, and it's really heartbreaking to see. But let's go to the positive side of it. So now you have come up to be a brilliant and confident personality overall. So I would like to know who are those influential people in your life who have made you who you are today.
Definitely my family. Like, I don't even have to think about it. My mom, first of all, since I was small, she always like wanted me to do something outside of the box. She wanted me to do all these motivational speakings and stuff like that. She actually joined me into a pageant called Miss Wheelchair India pageant, which I would not have done myself. She actually forced me into doing it. But after that, I got an opportunity to talk with Shankar Devin, and I gave like speeches in schools and stuff. So I never actually expected all of this to happen. Like, I never thought that I could do all these things. And my dad and brother, both of them know how much I love to travel and I love to experience new things. So even though it's difficult for me, they act like my pillars beside me. They hold me and they guide me wherever I'm going or need to go. So that's my family.
That's
Family.
great, man. So uh, this is really nice to know, and I would really like to know your point of view on the topic of inspiration objectification, right? Like this is one of the things which I voiced in my recent blogs. So just to tell the audience what it exactly means, it actually is objectifying one set of population in case to encourage another set of population. So while scrolling through your social media, you might have come across a child or a girl without limbs and trying to draw something with her mouth, right? So people are taking that photograph, objectifying it, and inspiring other set of people, telling them they
Mm.
can't, like, you are not at your worst right now. So what are your views on that?
Uh, to be honest, if you are inspired by me, then I would be the first one to be happy. But that inspiration should come from my journey. Not like you shouldn't be inspired just because I'm doing normal things in the house, or just because I'm in a wheelchair, you should not be inspired. You should look at what I'm doing, see what I'm doing, and get inspired by that. Then I would be the first one to be happy.
Yeah, definitely. So like there is, I have this ideology, so don't get inspired by who they are, but instead get inspired by their journey. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So, there are many taboos in our society with people having conditions, like you. So,
Yeah.
which is one of the taboos that you want to debunk in our society? That myth you want it out of our society.
Well, people should try and have a normal this thing, like an idea. They shouldn't like discriminate us just because we're using a wheelchair or we have a crane or something. uh, they should, treat us like human beings, like just any other. Just because we cannot do like certain things doesn't make us like incapable of other things as well. Like, for example, just because I can't walk, like many people have come up to me and be like, you can't marry, you cannot have love. Like, that's so insensitive. And yeah, people need to understand that fact, and they should try to, look at us normally.
Yeah, good. Definitely, that's like I totally agree to what you are saying right now. So, according to you, what is that one piece of advice you want to give to the people listening to this, which would really help you normalize the situation in our society?
A normal advice that I would give, like whether you're in a wheelchair or whether you're normal or something, uh, you should first look at everyone just the way you look at yourself. And the second thing is that uh, don't mind what other people are saying, like if it's negative judgment or something, people will always find something to, demotivate you or something. So people should not like listen to what other people say, because that's not how you're gonna grow in life. Oh yeah, that took me years to do, but yeah.
Definitely, got it. So, like I have been working on a mental health awareness program, right? So, I think that it is really important to normalize mental health in our society, according to me, since the cases of depression, anxieties, and all of the mental disorders are increasing at an alarming rate in our country. So, what are your views on that? How important is it to normalize mental health in our society?
Well, because we are suppressing our emotions, that's what's causing like anxieties and all of these depression and all these mental disorders. So I think if we can freely open up and normalize mental health, then I think that would be like that would help our society in a better way. Like
Yeah, definitely. So, mental health is something we should be talking about freely in our society. People are suppressing themselves, according to me. They aren't letting them feel things which they generally should. So, yeah, there are some of the points
hmm.
which I would be raising in some of my blogs later. So, anyways, coming back to you, Hasita, uh, what where can the listeners who are listening to this can connect with you online? Like, is there any platform they can connect with you?
uh well, Instagram is the first thing that I use regularly. Then I also blog on lifewithhussy.com. So you can always message me over there. Or otherwise, I also do a YouTube as well. So could watch me over there.
Is it okay? Can you just specify the name of your YouTube channel for them?
It's just my name,
Okay.
Hasita Ella.
So, all right, guys. So this would be it. I hope this was insightful and added some value in your life. And I hope that you are inspired by Hasita's journey and understand the need to overcome this taboos in our society, which we have been following since eons now, since ages. So thank you, Hasita, for being us with here. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.